have to be versatile, you have to multitask, and sometimes you got to put on the mascot costume.
And you are on your way to Dallas for the big game?
Yeah, got to load up and head to Atlanta to hop on a jet plane.
Hello and welcome everyone to SEC Media Days 2012 here at the Winfrey Hotel out in Hoover. Now, the first new team up in the day was Texas A&M as they come over to the SEC from the Big 12.
Yeah, two teams that are playing for a chance to meet Notre Dame down in Miami, and they didn't disappoint. Georgia taking lead multiple times in that game. It looked like they were going to finish it out. You know, there's so much talk about Gene Chizik's record without Cam Newton, and I always countered that with Coach Saban's record without Barrett Jones and the way that he has led this offensive line for so long across multiple positions.
Hey folks, let's bust through the tape on the high school football season. Pell City at Hueytown tonight. Pell City up 7-0. How would the Golden Gophers do without Jameis Winston? Well, it didn't start off so well. Robert Johnson coughs it up in Pell City. They recover the fumble and make them pay, as the cheerleaders suggest. Martin hands off to Jackson Williamson. He fakes out the photog and then goes up over the top of the Gophers D for the end around. Airs it out to Ira Birch. 14-0, but the Golden Gophers would come back from 28 down, folks. They win it on the final play of the game. An exciting one out there, 35-34. Elsewhere, Fultondale busting out against Andrew Zhao in Montevallo in his first game, and unfortunately, Coach had to play against Ardarius Stewart, and Ardarius pretty good. Way up top, first touchdown of the night and the season. Coach Zhao looking along from the sideline, and he's like, oh, we got to deal with this guy. The big-time recruit later goes 90 yards around the end for the touchdown, folks. So many awesome games on our schedule tomorrow night for Inside Sports. Of course, the game of the week is Hewitt-Trussville and Clay-Chalkville. Elsewhere, Aniana takes on Ernest Robinson and Pinson. You can check out all the high school action with Lauren Sisler and Jim Dunaway tomorrow night on Inside Sports. The wait finally ends today. SEC football back as South Carolina and Vanderbilt played in the rain in Nashville. Was a perfect storm in the air for an upset. It was almost a packed house in Nashville for this one. A slow start for USC, but eventually they get it to this guy, Marcus Lattimore, a fellow ACLian, less than a year after surgery, goes in 28 yards for the touchdown, 7-0 USC. Later, Vandy looked dead to rights, down 10-0, but Jordan Rogers hits Jordan Matthews, and he's faster than other people. 79 yards for the score. But USC would take the lead late after some gutsy plays by Connor Shaw. All comes down to this. Rogers looking for Matthews again, and folks, that looks like pass interference, but the refs don't make the call. Vandy gets Vandied. USC wins 17-13. Now NFL tonight, no Tebow, no Sanchez for the Jets, so it's Greg McElroy time. The Jets had yet to score a touchdown in the preseason, so G-Mac at work here. This looks shades of Florida. 2009 gets the first down along the sideline. And then speaking of reminiscing, he hits, is that Roy Upchurch? No, it's actually Terrence Ganway for the touchdown. The lone TD of the game. The Jets still winless in the preseason. They fall 24-10. Now they call him Floyd Money Mayweather, and today's news kind of shows us why. The world champion boxer bets $3 million that Michigan will cover the spread against Alabama. $3 million. Must be nice. Alabama will have their final pregame walkthrough practice style in Tuscaloosa Friday before heading out to Dallas and getting a look at Cowboys Stadium, a first for many. Not a lot of first lefts for Robert Lester as he leads this secondary. Hey folks, we got high school football jamborees tonight. Coach Niblett and Hoover against Florence. Here's Connor Short on his first drive, 3rd and goal. He's got Mike Powers in the end zone for the touchdown. Those two will probably connect plenty of times in the regular season this year. Later, Bucks up 13-0. Into the end zone goes Kyler Jackson, 19-0 Hoover. The Bucks go on to win it, 35-14. From there, we head over to Minor. They were hosting Mountain Brook. And check out Jacob Carroll, the backup quarterback, looking deep for Drew Odom. Oh, but bless his heart, he's got to be the sickest man in Minor. But check this out. It's a jamboree game. Let's go right back to him. This time, Odom hauls in the score. Mountain Brook gets the win, 31-13. Now, plenty of times this year, somebody has sat in this chair and told you that there's no word yet on the starting quarterback for Auburn. No more. Kyle Frazier tabbed as the #1 quarterback by Gene Chizik this morning. Now, during SEC Media Days this summer, Coach Chizik joked that at some point in his career at Auburn, he would have a starting quarterback for more than a year. Well, they've got one for at least the Clemson game in Frazier. Clint Mosley still battling shoulder pain, but Coach says Kyle earned this spot.
We're always going to choose the one that we think gives us the best chance to win. And we think Kyle is that. We're excited about it. We've got a lot of confidence in him.
feels good. I mean, whenever you get recruited, that's something that you work toward, being a starter in college. So I feel blessed to get the opportunity.
Big smiles for Kyle tonight. 5 of 14 through the air last year. He may eclipse his season of completions by halftime in Atlanta. Now there's bad news today for former Alabama defensive back Justin Woodall. He's a pitcher in the minor league system for the Rays. He was suspended by Major League Baseball for 50 games today for violating the drug policy. He tested positive for methamphetamine. Now his former team, Alabama, back at practice today. Running back Eddie Lacy still loaded up with tape on that right ankle, but he did take part in all the drills today on the practice field. It's been drills, drills, drills for the Tide, and Coach knows they're looking forward to an actual game of tackle football next Saturday.
I'm sure our players are tired of practicing against each other and look forward to the challenge of, practicing against something different that they can get prepared for, and we're looking forward to trying to put together a good plan for them.
Now defensive back Bradley Sylvie with an injury today. He's listed with a fractured hand. 1,040 receiving yards for Tennessee's Derek Rogers last year. Looks like this year he'll have 0, suspended indefinitely. And Derek Dooley says that will probably be for all year. He had more than 700 receiving yards than any other Vol in 2011. Now Mississippi State with a couple of announcements today. The first, former Minnesota head coach Tim Brewster is Starkville bound to coach wide receivers. Angelo Mirando resigned this past weekend, so Brewster gave up his gig at CBS Sports to come coach the Bulldog wideouts. The second announcement from Mississippi State today comes as bad news. The NCAA investigating recruiting irregularities from this past offseason. The NCAA statement says the MSU is cooperating and the investigation should be over soon. Now the UAB Blazers finishing up their week before game week this weekend. They've got Troy on September 1st. Garrick McGee, after practice this week, told us what they need to get done the week before game week.
Looking at our schemes against their defense so we get a step ahead, a week ahead for next week. We'll come back. We got the game plan done, but we'll come back Monday after working this week and, redefine or rethink about everything that we thought about, narrow it down next week, and then, go into game week.
UAB Fan Day coming up this Saturday from 11 to 1 at the Galleria. We got some NFL preseason action. Jags visiting Baltimore. Check out Ray Rice. He's moving the chains. Pretty good. He may be a sleeper pick in Ken Lass's fantasy draft this year. Looks like he's in midseason form. Then we go to Joe Flacco, and he makes us all remember the old Anquan Bolden. He still plays football. 5-yard touchdown pass. Ravens get the win 48-17. And the Sprint Cup back to Bristol this weekend, a track holding a special spot for most drivers. Even more special to 2011 winner Brad Keselowski, currently 5th in the chase, driving well, or like a man, as Brad says here.
Well, Bristol to me is a man's racetrack. I wanted to prove to myself and to others that I could be the man, to win at a man's racetrack.
Keselowski currently 5th in point standings. He may need to revise that if Danica takes the full schedule coming up next year.
Exactly. What is he talking about?
It's a man's racetrack.
We'll be right
back.
back.
What that means.